So in AE, you are meant to harvest the crystals from the meteorites and use those for your certus quartz production along with the crystal growth accelerators. Well, in Advanced AE, they add in the circuit slicer the crystal assembler and this machine called the reaction chamber. If you did not know, for the reaction chamber, it has a couple recipes that essentially allow you to duplicate and repair your certus quartz buds, your budding certus quartz, but they have recipes. So, for example, you can take 64 regular certus quartz and turn it into a stack of charged certus quartz. You can take 16 charged certus quartz and 16 certus quartz dust, and it makes a stack of regular certus quartz. Essentially, with a little bit of water, you're just duplicating it. But if you just go into a pattern provider and just put it straight on there and expect your system to take the certus quartz out of your system and just automatically dupe it, it can't handle that repetitive crafting. However, I play with infinite channels. I apologize, but Chad, infinite channels enjoyer. If you take chests, a double chest, or even with a singular chest, you just have to put the exporter on top and the storage bus on the front or any side you want, really. You can take it and put a storage bus on, tell it you want certus quartz, tell the export bus with a crafting card that you want certus quartz to be put in the chest, and on the crafting behavior, just tell it not to use the stocked items. You do the same with certus quartz dust. I'm using the mechanism crusher to make my certus quartz dust, and of course the charged certus quartz, you can make that in the reaction chamber as well. So I have it set to make a large batch of certus quartz at a time, and I have it set to make a large batch of charged certus quartz. Whenever it's not making regular certus quartz, we'll do one or the other, you know? But you can essentially automatically have it so these chests fill up automatically. This is pretty power hungry. So, I mean, heck, I wasn't able to stably run this until I got my mechanism reactor set up. But once you do have a stable form of power, you can essentially just set this up so it will automatically fill your chest with certus quartz, charged certus quartz, or certus quartz dust. And I've been waiting for this example, but if I put this crafting card in here, it's not to use stocked items, so the check mark is not there. It's going to automatically make the flukes dust. Of course, I'm out of enough flukes crystals for it to be able to process that operation. Yeah, it wants 320 flukes dust at a time. In order to do that operation, I only have 126 flukes crystals. But if I put this in here, as you can see, it's doing something a little funny right now. I recommend you stock up on your certus quartz first. You have your certus quartz automated first, let it back up completely before you start doing the flukes, or else you will put yourself in a deadlock where you run out of certus quartz completely and can no longer repeat this operation. But this reaction chamber will do flukes crystals as well. 32 charged certus quartz, which now we know are infinite with 32 flukes dust, makes a stack of flukes crystal. And the only thing you really have to give it is water and electricity, and its two prerequisites, and it will automatically make more flukes crystals. And if you play AE, and you have Advanced AE installed, which you'll need to do this, you'll know about the Flux crystal. Not Flux crystal, but intro crystals, which are used for a lot of the high-end machinery later on, like this advanced extended pattern provider. As you can see, it can hold a lot more, and it's actually just overall faster and more consistent. I can set up specific patterns so they exit only one side of the pattern providers, so it makes it easier to set up mechanism alloying, because what you can do is tell the patterns you want that it's going to make the alloy. It can shove the alloy directly into the infuser, but with the enriched obsidian or enriched redstone, whatever you're going to be making, you can tell it specifically what face to go out. So you see that capital E that's in the parentheses, that's telling it to go out the east side. So it's specifically going to go out the east side, which I have a storage bus hooked up to, not connected to the rest of the system, so it doesn't get put back into my actual ME storage system. But it will go down and into the back of this infusing factory, where the extra slot is. And this auto crafting setup, you can also use it for a lot of other things. So for example, I have the mechanism dynamic tanks, which are chemicals and fluids. I have no actual chemical drives in my system. As you can see, no fluid drives, no chemical drives. In this way, I can set these large buffers up that the ME system can use and store to handle the rest of my processing. That way I'm not filling up an entire storage cell just to make a tiny bit of fissile fuel for my mechanism fission reactor. But it's the same concept. So for example, I have sulfur trioxide here. Just tell it I want sulfur trioxide in the storage bus so the system can grab it out and give it to the other machines as need be. I give it a crafting card. Tell it to do sulfur trioxide as well. Tell it not to use stocked items. And if we come over to my large infuser, nope, that's the wrong one. I think it is this one right here. Yes, it's automatically trying to make sulfur trioxide. Matter of fact, it made so much that it can't pull it out, and there's still some stuck in the machine. So it is a very good system in order to automate your setup so you don't have to mess with it as often. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.